Welcome to your Joyful Riches podcast, where you gain precious tips for easily ignite your full spectrum wealthy life. Join us, G100 Global Networking and myself, Dr. Birgitte Tan, every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific with your friends and families because we all want and deserve to be wealthy and happy and healthy. This podcast is powered by Anchor FM by Spotify. Anchor FM is the super awesome free podcast made easy platform. And for this week, we have the amazing, so honored and so thrilled to have Judy with us, the amazing Judy Mathisics. Judy, would you mind share with our audience what is it that you do?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Judy Mathisics, I'm a Life Master Consultant and Kayak Coaching Adventures developer. And yes, so that's one of the most fun things that I do. Yes.
Kayak coaching adventure. Now that surely sounds super fun. Now there is a lot of consultants, and I love consultants coaches, but the kayak is a whole nother story. And I know we were together in Austin not that long ago, and I know how much fun it was and how much fun you can create. So what brings you into being a life mastery consultant and then to be doing this, combining this with kayak?
Well, one of the things over the years, I've been doing consulting for many, many years. I ask myself all the time, well, what would I love? What would I love? And last year I turned 70, and I'm like, well, what? And I have this vibrant health, vision. I'm like, well, what would I love? And I'm like, oh, I think that I would love to get myself my very first kayak. And I know they have inflatable ones. So I ordered it and it came, and I got addicted to kayaking. We were going out every week. It was a commitment to get on the water every week. One of the things that I love to do is to meditate. And when you're meditating on the water, you see the different seasons, different birds, and it totally transforms you into this peacefulness. And I brought some slides and everything if you want to see.
Let's see you on the water with all the different things. That is
well, yeah.
so
No, go ahead. Let me get up here. Yeah.
That is so awesome. Meditating on the water with on the kayak, and I didn't even know there's inflatable kayak. So
oh yeah, because what I do now is I take groups. I put the kayaks. I have a couple of them now, and I fly all over the country with my inflatable kayak, and we get an Airbnb for a couple nights. I provide all the food, the meditation, everything, and we go out and we transform on the water. So let me just show you a little bit about the why I do what I do. This is a reading that about nature that really turned me on many, many years ago. And I'll just quickly read a little bit. I have got all these signatures on it, but I remember as a child climbing trees to better observe a nest of baby birds. And also lying on my back, wondering what it'd be like to fall into a sky full of clouds. Full spectrum right there. And, I still have this really deeply spiritual feeling when I'm out there. And, here's one thing that really speaks to me in this reading. Trees don't sit around and worry about forest fires, right?
that's so true.
Now, the water in the pond doesn't fret over turbulence and encounter. And I've never seen a butterfly prying into the affairs of other butterflies. So anyway, so this is a couple, when was this? I've been going out every month. This is in Wimberley, Texas on the Blanco River. Oh. And this is the Blanco River. And it's been pretty drought here, but I have a friend who knows where all the water is. I know where the water is. I go where the water is. There's something healing about it. This is the last one I took out. This is on the Colorado River, and there were 4 of us.
Wow.
Yeah, this actually is an older couple, and now I don't mean older, but this is where they go to have fun and have peace. It's the Colorado River in Texas. So one of the things that I feel is very, very important is to journal. And so we get the journals, and then I have them turn to the back page. Well, this is one of my adventures. And we, on the very back page, we take everything we want to leave behind, all the negative things, we write it down and burn it. First thing, burn it. So we got the fire element, and then we hit the water.
Oh, that's beautiful. So you release whatever that you don't want anymore. You go to the water and allow the flow. That is so awesome. And look at that birds taking off.
We see so many things out there. Now, when I am also a photographer too, so I snap pictures as we go. And when I see something, this reminds me of my purpose right here. Mm-hmm. And let me just go through there. And many people that I take out, they've never been in a kayak. They just want the adventure, right? And it's all about trust. This is last week as well too. Let me go here. I have something funny to show you. So part of the adventure for me is we go out, and it's also about the connection. I think community and connection. And this person drove in from New Mexico. This one's from Waverly, and they drove in to be connected in person so much. During COVID. We were lacking that connection. So this is that, and there's an egret, and we were able to get really close because it's about being quiet and peaceful on the water. So we have a couple more here and some fun things to show you, because every time I do it, we add a different element. And let me get over here. And one of the things that it's important for me, what I've developed over my coaching business, to actually eat a meal with people. Mm-hmm. So part of it is like, okay, and I ask everybody, what is it that you love? This was our picnic, and I had so much fun putting that together. And let me just show you. There's just a couple.
God, look at those earrings! Oh, tell me about that. Let me see.
Race wings. They represent our kayak adventure today.
Let me see.
On the waters of the Colorado River.
An exclusive design by Ida.
We're the first ones to have it.
I love it.
Oh, Mindy, let me see it. Let me see.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Y'all can be my models.
So one of the things that every time you go out, every day that you're alive, you're creating something. And so on this particular adventure, the chaplain came and she made the jewelry that's going to be the official jewelry. Who would know? And one thing when you're on the water, you vision it up, you connect, because you've left everything behind. And then one of the fun things that we see too.
Right up close.
Watch this.
What are they digging for?
They're going down to get the sea that fell.
Going down to the bottom.
Okay. It's so funny to see their little booties in the air.
And so, one of the other things, like as I keep doing these, I think, oh, I'm going to get bird seed. I'm going to get the seed, because for me, nature and animals. And so I carry bird seed with me wherever I go. So this is like after we ate, we fed the ducks. So, and this is like one of the final things is like, we got crazy. I don't mean get crazy, but the cool thing is, by the time you spend all that time interacting on the water, and it was only 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
This is what happened at the very end. This is Mindy from Albuquerque. Watch this.
Okay, go.
Yankees do it like this.
Woo!
Oh, are my earrings?
Oh, and your earrings are still there in true Yankee fashion. She can do it with her earrings on.
Okay, so there you go. And then, you know, the other cool thing that I find is like when you're doing things with people, and, you know, I set the whole thing up, but the cool thing is by the time you're done, you're a community.
Yeah.
It's so important. And everybody helped me deflate the kayak, put it in the car. And and it was like letting them have part of the journey as at the end. So that's what I do. And anyway, that's my most fun things that I do. I shouldn't say most fun because I also coach groups, but you know what? The people who've been in my group, they're the ones that want to go on the adventures because we talk spirituality, we talk spiritual laws on the water. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing right now, and it brings me so much joy.
Yeah.
And the planning in my head, the creating and planning, like how the heck am I going to do that? To get those kayaks on the airplane, interesting, but we did it.
I can only imagine.
There were times, and you know how we have those like paradigms, like, what, are you crazy? And then the people who signed up to go, they talked me into doing it anyway.
Mhm. There you go, and you break through our barriers of belief, right? That is so awesome. That is so wonderful. That's just so cool that you're doing that. You know, I know that you did it in Austin, but to know that you do it in all of our North America, and I imagine you can do it in America, you can do it somewhere else too. You know, I can see in France or somewhere where there is a calm water. That is so beautiful. So from that, I mean, it's such a wonderful, beautiful thing. And you mentioned about meditations. From everything that you learned, I'm curious, are there a couple, shall we say, lessons from nature that you have learned that allow people, wherever they are, to create a wonderful, joyful, full spectrum rich lives? What are some things, you know, as a coach, but also perhaps from nature's in helping us create a life that we would love in a beautiful, full spectrum way?
Well, that's very, very important in my life. And 2020 happened, and so stay home, which was very hard for me. And I discovered my backyard. I discovered there were birds out there. I discovered I could get a bird feeder. And so I meditate there. I started to meditate out in my backyard. 2020, now it's like 2.5 years, right? And I would sit there and meditate in my yard because then I could see the clouds. I meditate when the sun rises. I know and bless the sun. And then I know that I'm going to be okay because nature's constantly in motion. And the interesting that happened when I started doing that, this cat came and started to sit under my chair. Now, I don't know where it came from. And and it was a stray cat. I don't really know. But he started to come and meditate with me, or she did. And whenever I would go out, so I would sit there and start, and there would purr, and it's like, and then it got a little cold, you know, like, and I'm like, oh, I started to let the cat in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I fed it, and now that cat owns my house. And but you know the cool thing about the cat, I don't do a litter box or anything because it's an outside cat. So she's outside, it comes in, and that to me is beautiful. The other thing about watching nature with a cat I know you love Cat. I decided not to name him. I decided to call him Cat, K-A-T.
Mhm.
So this cat wants to bring me things. So the bring and the cat started to catch the bird and bring it. And I was like, okay, it's natural for a cat to do that. So anyway, it's very important to me, and also to watch all the wildflowers and all the seasons. So I've been meditating with the different seasons. That reminds me that I'm changing and growing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing stuck about the weather, even though sometimes it feels like it. So my tip would be get outside first thing in the morning. Go outside.
Mhm.
Start to smell the fresh air. Start to watch the trees around you. And it totally, for me at least, there's a higher power at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, get outside, and 5 minutes, doesn't matter, 10 minutes, and then you'll get addicted to it and starting to want to go outside all the time. The other tip I would say is find water.
Mhm.
Many years ago, I had a therapist tell me that when I started to go crazy, even if there's a mud puddle, put your feet in a mud puddle, get water. And that's just me,
Mhm.
run my hands underwater.
There you go. Yeah.
It's very important. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my tip. Get outside and find water.
Yeah. Get outside, and like you say, to remember when we seem like things happening, water doesn't worry about turbulence and like the weather. Sometimes we feel that the weather going to be stuck. And I recall one was it last year or the year before, you in where you are has this like very unusual cold blast that like a lot of people's like, oh my god, this is never ending. But it sure was ending. It's hot like tomorrow. Yeah, just last week when I was in your area. So sometimes we feel like something happened and we're like stuck and it doesn't go anywhere. But like you said, the weather keep going, the sun keep going, and life, and we all changing and keep going with life.
And when you get into the habit of doing that, because it is a practice, it is a habit. When it does get to be 100 degrees, you find the cold water spots. And you don't need air conditioning. I don't. So anyway, that would be a tip. And it's something developing over time. And when I find myself frustrated, I've been inside too much.
Beautiful, beautiful. So awesome. So how do people connect with you if they want to know more about your work, about your kayak coaching adventure, all these things? How do people connect with you?
Well, I have this thing on this last slide. Let me do that once, because one of the things I find is like, I just love to, you can text me right there at that number. And also I have a Facebook page and where I post all my little videos of my adventures. Yeah. I'm going up to Colorado for an adventure at the end of July at a high mountain lake.
Wow.
And I'll be in Michigan in August. So, and once again, it came out of an idea on January. And it was like, what if I could go a new place every single month? So what's happening now, Birgitte, is people are calling in and saying, well, would you consider coming here? And my thing is, yes, fly me in.
Awesome.
I've got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, that's the easiest way. And
so they can call you at 512-497-0190. And they'll be posted as well, but you can connect with Judy easily, 512-497-0190. But that is so beautiful that that you are able to do this all over the place wherever you can fly in, which basically all over the world now, and that is so wonderful and so great. And like you said, to develop the connection and so forth. Do you have a final message for our audience that you know in creating this life, in navigating through life with more ease and a whole lot more fun the way you do it?
Oh, sure. Well, I always like to start with the breath and get right here, right now, and to remember to dream big. Dream as big as you can. Dream bold, very boldly. Especially when you are you crazy? You're like, yeah. Dream big, dream bold, and you will always accomplish brilliantly. Yes.
That is so beautiful. That is so awesome. Dream big, dream bold, and you will accomplish. And just know that, and you can do that with a lot of ease and a lot of fun. And if you never been in a kayak, want to be in a kayak again, or want to know how it is be having coaching alongside while you're kayaking, if you only kayak in the past, then you know who to call, Judy Matesek, and that is just so awesome. Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you for sharing your tips today. And for you, my friends who are listening to this, please share one or two gold nuggets in the comment below. Share if you have been in a kayak, or if you've never been in a kayak, or if you want to be in a kayak, or you'll never want to be in a kayak. Anything like that is fine too. But please share in the comment below so we can continue learning and have it, and learning and have fun as well with each other. And thank you for joining. Please share this podcast with your friends and families so they too can triumph in doing that with more fun. And this is Dr. Birgitte Tan, your grief transformation specialist for individual and businesses, founder of the International Childhood Cancer Charity, United States country chair for Global Networking G100 All Ladies League, and you make it a thriving life doing that with fun. And we will see you again next week on Saturday, same place at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Bye-bye for now.